Appreciate Jeff Gordon coming in. Always good to have Jeff. He drives the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet, currently third in points. Jeff, your thoughts now with 5 to go before we get to Richmond, your thoughts about how your team's performing, and what do you look forward to here starting this weekend at Pocono?
Yeah, I think we've performed well. You know, I said it last week, and I still feel the same way, you know, that the Brickyard marks an important part in the season, plus it's an important race. But to me, from that race leading into the chase and through the chase, it really is about who is going to show their strength for the championship. And, you know, right now you got to notch one up to the 48 team. I thought the 5 as well showed, you know, how strong they are. And we were mediocre. You know, we need to step it up. We need to be better than that. I feel like had we qualified better, I think we could have run up front with those leaders, but we didn't do that. And so, you know, we've got some areas that we're focused on improving, and I'm excited about some of the things that we have in the works for the next, you know, 5 races, including here this weekend, and was real happy with the car this morning and the little bit of running that we did, and look forward to Sunday.
Questions for Jeff Gordon, raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll get to you all the way in the back.
Jeff, Jim Coles from WNEP in Scranton. Earlier and last week we saw that Mark Martin's been calling your teammate Jimmy Johnson Superman. Well, what would you call Mark Martin these days, and what's he accomplishing at this point of his career when people are usually getting ready to wrap it up? He's going better than ever.
Yeah, I think he's got it backwards. He's definitely Superman. You know, the guy is just unbelievable. I think he's always been impressive to me, and I think a lot of others, and his talent and, you know, his commitment to what he does. But, you know, you put him with a team at Hendrick like that 5 car and Alan Gustafson and that group, and it just shows just how talented he truly is. So, yeah, I think Mark's a modest guy, and he would never want to call himself Superman, but he's the true Superman out there, and we're really proud to have him on board, and he's bringing a lot to our program, obviously.
Other questions for Jeff? Right here.
Jeff, Scott Walsh from the Scranton Times. You say you were happy with what little practice time you had with how the car is. You know, you look at the board and the top 4 cars are all Hendrick cars. Can you just talk a little bit about you know, about not only yours but the Hendrick performance so far in practice today?
Yeah, I'm not. You know, I know that Kyle Busch and Tony Stewart and some of those guys that are right there behind us were not in qualifying trim. We were all 4 in qualifying trim, so it's a little bit skewed. I think we still were going to be strong for qualifying, but I don't think that you had enough of the other top fast guys like the 83 and maybe the 9 and some of the guys that qualify real well here. I don't think they were in qualifying trim to show what they truly had, but all 4 of us showed up in qualifying trim, even with the weather forecast, and that's what we had. Our first 2 runs, I went out the first time, caution came out. I was, you know, halfway through a run. Then the second time, I was again halfway through a run, and the caution came out again. So we kind of our run wasn't as good as our teammates, but I felt like we were very competitive. You know, Hendrick's obviously been strong this year, so you know I say that. You know, we were at the top of the board, and it's good to see all 4 cars. Other than the 5 put on a heck of a lap out the last time out, you know, close and competitive, and so that's the way we're looking at it. But you know, Hendrick obviously has been very strong this year, and we're proud of that.
Question in the back. Go ahead, sir.
Ken Christensen, the Express Times. Jeff, during the year, there's been some talk about you having back pain. I was wondering if you could talk about that and how you're doing now.
Yeah, it's really nice to not get asked too many of those questions these days. Or it seems like it's tapering off a little bit, which is kind of nice because it started to get a little bit too much. It's definitely, I feel like it's not necessarily, it's slightly improved since the beginning of the year, and then it's just sort of leveled off where I'm just able to deal with the pain that's there, or the discomfort. At these types of tracks, it's more discomfort than it is pain. At Bristol is where we're really going to find out just where I'm at. I was in a lot of pain there the last race, and that seems to be the toughest race. But for this weekend, shouldn't be any issues. We're in good shape.
Right here.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Watkins Glen next week. What are the keys to winning the race there? And as a corollary to that, there used to be about 5 or 6 Cup regulars who were head and shoulders above everybody else on the road courses. Now it seems like that gap is closed. And how do you account for that?
Yeah, I think this car has closed up the gap quite a bit. You know, it's just hard to have much of an edge over the competition anywhere we go, and it shows up as well on the road courses. You know, everything NASCAR's done is really put us into a box as far as our transmissions and obviously with the car. You know, I felt like we were more competitive in Sonoma than we've been, and I feel like we tested at Road Atlanta, which is a better track for Watkins Glen. So we're certainly, with the DuPont 24 team, we're hoping that pays off for us at Watkins Glen. You know, the keys to success there is it's a fast road course, and you got to get up through the S's really, really well. You got to get through the carousel there good. You got to get into all the braking zones good. You know, it's same concept it's always been. You know, for me, it's if I get out front, don't wheel hop getting into turn 1 and spin out with 2 or 3 laps to go. So that's what I'm going to be working on.
Question here. Go ahead, Mike.
Fuel mileage also is, obviously real important on those road courses, but a little bit different approach, I think, at Watkins Glen than Sonoma. Sonoma is such a finesse track. You can give up a lot of power there and still maintain a pretty decent pace to get your fuel mileage, where Watkins Glen you can't. You gotta run hard. You got long straightaways. Got to have the power. So it makes it a lot trickier to get good fuel mileage. Sorry, Mike.